you're here in the capacity, obviously, as Nathan Gorman's trainer. He's going up against Daniel Dubois. Huge fight, July 13th, British heavyweight title. Is there any fight from your own career that you could pick out that kind of compares to it, this kind of domestic grudge match type fight?
Don't know. I mean, maybe my fight with Eamon McGee, that was a bit of a grudge match. Two domestic fighters, if you like, that really didn't like each other. So probably that one. And but I don't think I don't think personality-wise, there's a grudge. I just think it's simply the case of they were both in the GB squad together. They're both trying to get to that #1 podium spot, so the rivals. And you wouldn't get on with your rival, would you? There would be this little bit of animosity because you're both striving towards achieving the same thing. So. And then now, they were fighting towards, who could be the best as an amateur. They're fighting towards who can be the best as a pro. So it's just inevitable it's going to happen. But credit to the boys, it's happened after just so many short fights. But I think that's boxing nowadays now. When they used to have 30 fights before you fought for the world title, them days are gone now. So I guess it's a sign of moving with the times.
How much has Nathan mentioned Daniel since he started working with you? Has it been a constant kind of thing?
He mentions it more time than he mentions becoming a world champion, and I think it probably because he knows if he's going to be a world champion, he has to get past that obstacle. But no, I mean, see, I don't know what went on in the GB squads. I'm saying that they were rivals, so there's going to be rivalry there, but I don't know, there might have been something nasty where they didn't see eye to eye or something like that, because he just has such a bee in his bonnet in order to beat Daniel and get this fight on. But that's not such a bad thing from my point of view. He's going to take no motivation to get him. He felt that he got the better of the spars, and Daniel's the one that's getting all the TV coverage and all the press and all the write-ups and all that. So I think that's why he's had the bee in his bonnet from day one. But he's got the chance now, so it's time to put all the things, he believes in right,
That kind of resentment Nathan's got because he's had to scrap and claw for what he's got to now. Can you kind of identify with that? Because you started off small halls, you had like you alluded to just now, you had a lot of fights before you got your world title shot. So can you identify with how Nathan feels about having to do the same? Yeah,
it's just, he was with me at first, obviously I didn't have, I had all the champions actually, and then my Sky dates, they took the Sky dates away. They went solely with Matchroom, and Matchroom have done a wonderful job for our country's boxing, full stop. But I had pretty much all the champions then. But then when my Sky dates went, all my lads I had to bring through on the smaller shows, Walsall, Preston, Manchester, Wigan, and stuff like that, But it's not been such a bad thing, when you start at the bottom, you've got to, like I even did it, you've got to box at your leisure centres, you've got to box at your town halls and stuff like that. And I think it makes you more hungry. And I think Nathan's seen the rival that he was on the GB squad from a distance, on big massive shows, and getting TV coverage and getting write-ups here and there, and he's fighting in Stoke Town Hall, and I think it's pissed him off a little bit, but he's hoping for the better, because that'll work in our favour as long as he's up for it, and as long as he uses the right tactics and a little bit of controlled aggression, I think it'll be enough.
When you go from headlining smaller shows and being chief support or undercard of the bigger shows, and then suddenly you're thrust into a main event against a big domestic rival on national TV, how do you kind of adapt to that mentally?
It's all just part of it. I think it's just having confidence in your ability, and you can see Nathan, when he talks, he's a nice kid, and he's a nice kid. He doesn't slag anyone off. He's not, disrespectful. He is a nice kid. But I think it all depends on the confidence of the individual. Once you go from a small old show to topping the bill over that, you can either relish in it, or you can crumble in it. And looking at how Nathan handles himself, I think it doesn't need me to tell you he'll relish in it. That's the type. I know his dad didn't even want him to box when he first started coming through, but he's a travelling lad. He's a fighting man. It's in his blood, the Gorman family, we all know it's in his blood. And when he walked through my gym at 18 after just 8 fights, he looked like he was doing it for 68 fights, you know what I mean? And that's something natural you can't teach. And he's got confidence in what he's doing, his ability, it's in his genes, and he's been able to adapt to it anyway. That's such a good thing. I mean, I know Daniel's probably appeared on bigger venues and bigger shows on top of the bill than Nathan, but if I could say, is that going to work in Daniel's favour? 9 times out of 10 it would, but not with my guy, I think, for the reasons I just explained.
How, as a person rather than as a boxer, how much of yourself do you see in Nathan?
I see a lot of myself in him. Just there's just the self-belief. You know, you've got to have confidence, you've got to have self-belief. And the way he is, you know, especially when look at the rivals you've got in this country now. You know what I mean? You've got to have confidence. And it's a little bit. I'm not saying Daniel's not confident, but I mean, you know, I do believe, you know, when he says Nathan's his easiest fight, I do believe that's come from centre field. That I think that's in order to come across confident and everything. That, which, you know, he should be confident when you look at what he's doing in the ring and how he's improving. But I think, you know, you just look at Nathan. What I'm getting at, and it's no disrespect to Daniel, you look at Nathan, you can just see that confidence is natural. It's there for him. He means it. Does Daniel mean that really? Does he mean it? I don't really think so. I think when you listen to my lad, you can believe it, and if you listen to Daniel, that's to sell tickets. If that makes any sense.
Brilliant. Well, really appreciate your time as always, but best of luck for July 13th for you and your man.
Pleasure, mate.
Cheers, Ricky. Thank you.